Update 2. My pervy family helped hide my fiancé's affair with my best friend. They tried to unalive themselves. Things have escalated heavily. Once I woke up and took a long hot shower, I turned my phone back on. I couldn't even unlock it or clear notification before I got a call from one of my bridesmaids. I answered and she immediately started screaming at me about how could I ignore Peach and Alex in their time of need. At first I was confused, seeing as I don't give a damn about them anymore. I asked her to not yell at me, but she continued anyway. She screamed that Peach hurt herself. When she sent me the images, they were very top surface level. Enough for the scar to appear and a little blood. Regardless of whether or not it was deep enough, it still shook me. I wanted to scoff on the phone because at this point I know she was doing it to rally people on her side since I won't respond to her text. Yet she also told me Alex tried to overtake substances. His friends found him at my apartment all groggy. They took him to the hospital where he was cleared since they didn't have to pump. They are keeping him on watch for the next 72 hours, which is good. Just because I hate his guts doesn't mean he needs to die. After this, my friend group has been split very heavily since I didn't respond to either of them before they did this. I still have no intention of talking to either of them. I don't really care what they do for attention. Just as long as they leave me the hell alone. During the initial confrontation with my egg donor, Tony found out my egg donor lied to him and said Peach could take my ticket to go with them for the trip. They got home and started arguing more because Tony brought up the suspicions he had about my mother cheating. She started screaming at him and confessing everything. She told him my half-sibs aren't his and a lot of other very hurtful things. He had to call the police on her to escort her off his property. Tony followed up with me. This morning, yes, he is divorcing her. His lawyers are drafting up his papers within the next week or so, and told me that my mother confessed that I was the product of a long-term affair she had with his best friend. My egg donor is a very vile woman, I am coming to learn, yet after finding out Tony is getting papers, she has tried to backpedal. She has been calling my aunt begging for her to convince Tony not to do this or else she will be homeless. She has been trying to call Tony and his family, but they all have been ignoring her. Yet, this wasn't enough for my egg donor. She knows my aunt's schedule and tried to come over to assault me. My cousin was with me still, so she couldn't get in. But, hearing her scream at me, some of my very low insecurities hurt and I started to have a panic attack. My cousin took me upstairs when we heard a loud crash. My mother broke through the window and ran upstairs and attacked me. For once in my life, I hit my egg donor back. All the anger I had towards her I finally let out. My cousin was struggling to separate us that she had to run to get our neighbor. I only have a few scratches and bite marks, but outside of that I am okay. I'm also placing charges against my egg donor. Hopefully I can get a restraining order, honestly. My mom ran off before the police came, but I gave them Tony's address just in case she tries going back there. I see that those evil people aren't going to stop until they get a response out of me. However, on the weird side, I got a call from my half-sister. She tried apologizing and I cut her off because I don't want to hear it anymore. She then scoffed and had the nerve to ask if I could watch my nieces while her husband, and her boyfriend all go on a trip. I love my nieces and nephews, but I told her that she could go F herself. If she wanted me to watch her nieces, then she would have to ask through my aunt. She started screaming how I was being unfair to her and punishing her kids. I told her I was punishing her. She said never mind and that I couldn't see my nieces. I knew this was something that could happen, but it hurt my heart. I'm pretty sure she's telling them I hate them. I'm keeping the screenshots and my aunt and cousin said they would back me up if they reach out in the future. This is everything so much, but I'm expecting more to happen, honestly. One thing I know about egg donor is that she hates losing. I know she sees this as a loss and she won't stop until she comes out on top. My half-brother has me blocked on everything and I'm pretty sure he is siding with my half-sister. My aunt and cousin are currently packing up Alex's things and dropping them off at a buddy of his. His name is Kyle, he is on my side, and he's been helping me through all of this as well. He dropped me off my favorite fruit this morning to my aunt. He also assured me that I can talk to him anytime. I asked him if he would be in further communication with Alex and he said no. He's just holding on to his things until his parents can pick them up. I really appreciate him.